What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a while. Hope everyone's getting excited for the upcoming ski season. As you saw in the title, today we are talking about another one of my favorite mountains in the world, Jackson Hole. Got the poster right here behind me. I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about this place, the behemoth that it is. So without wasting any time, let's get right into it. Jackson Hole is one of the toughest, if not the toughest, mountain to ski in the United States. In my opinion, it is up there with the likes of Alta and Snowbird, which I've already discussed on this channel. Go check those videos out if you haven't already. It's up there, man. It is steep, it is ungroomed, and it does get great snow. I think it's one of these places that is just an expert skier's paradise. The last time I visited was back in January 2025, so just this past winter. I had a great powder day there on my first day, which was awesome. I've also had, a fair amount of crusty snow days there with firm snow, hard pack, so I think I have a pretty good idea of what this mountain has to offer. I always try to plan my ski trips out west during the week so I can really dodge the crowds, beat the lines, and just get a sense of the mountain and what it really has to offer, ski the whole mountain. So, I can't speak too much about the average weekend crowds at Jackson Hole, because when I went during the week in January, it was after the holidays. It was like a Monday to Thursday. It was empty, and like I said, we got some fresh snow on day one, which was epic. My prior visit was March 2022, super dry year for Jackson. Ended with some fresh snow, which was great, but started with really firm snow earlier in the week. So, I've had a couple experiences there, different kinds of snow. I feel like I've got a really good sense of the mountain. I've skied just about everything I've wanted to ski there, but I'll definitely be back to take a few more runs off the bucket list. There's a few things that I did not get to in my two visits there, unfortunately. But in this video, I'm going to do sort of what I've usually been doing, break down each terrain zone, at least the ones that I've skied, pretty much all of them, and what you can sort of find in each of those zones, and then I'll talk a little about the snow at the end. Starting with the Tram, pretty iconic. It takes you up from the base to Rendezvous Bowl, which I will start with a negative on that. It is prone to low visibility. It is pretty open. It's bowly. It's high altitude. Gotten fogged out there a couple of times, so just be wary when you take that Tram up. Know the risks. If it is an overcast day, you might not be able to see much. So I've had some bad conditions up there. But on a Bluebird day, it's awesome. It's just classic West Coast bowl skiing, open snow fields, relatively steep, but nothing crazy. It's a single black. It's doable. I think it's the best bowl skiing on the mountain. So, trendy, but definitely recommend doing that. You got to hit the Tram. And there's nothing wrong with what's right off of that Rendezvous Bowl. You don't have to look too far to find good skiing off the Tram. The other thing up there is, of course, Corbett's Couloir. Now, I haven't been able to drop into Corbett's yet. It's been closed. I think out of like the 7 or 8 days I've skied at Jackson Hole in my life, it's been open like one of those days, and I think my dad and I did the head wall hike that day, so we didn't even know it was open. It's like, on some snow years, not even some snow years, I'd say in general, it's pretty touch and go with, Ski Patrol and them opening it, which makes sense. It's super steep. It's very dangerous. So you sort of get why they do that. Haven't been lucky enough to ski it yet, unfortunately, but it's there. It's iconic. You guys know all about Corbett's, I'm sure. So that's off the Tram as well. Moving a little bit further down, you've got the Sublette quad, which is a great zone, great chair. They just redid it, so it's a little bit higher speed. And off of there, you've got a lot of different options. Again, this is advanced and expert terrain. So you've got Cheyenne Bowl first and foremost, which is a bowl sitting right below Rendezvous. You've got Central Chute that runs right through it. And a few nice glades off this, some steep shots sort of to the left and the right of the bowl. I've skied there. I skied a run here early in the morning on that powder day in January. And it was steep and deep. It was a good run. It was steep. It was a nice little shot I found. And the snow held up really well. So there's some good stuff off there for sure. What you'll see a lot of people going down is Pepe's Run, which is a ridgeline that provides access to chutes, glades, other expert advanced terrain off of Sublette. A lot of moguls, very carved out, kind of a pain to ski across that ridgeline, but oftentimes it is worth it because of what's to the left and right of it. You've got the Alta chutes off there, which are pretty steep, tight, technical chutes that Jackson is famous for. I was able to do all Alta 3. That was the one that was open on my last visit. Be careful of hidden obstacles is what I would say. There wasn't a ton of... There was cover, but I got caught on a shrub. So, you can be a pretty... aggressive skier and think you can handle it no problem, but I will say there are some things beneath the surface that you could catch a ski on, and that happened to me. I was able to recover. It was no problem, but great run. Snow was excellent. Snow was really, really good in there, but it is tight. You gotta, just proceed with caution is what I would suggest. But iconic tree runs at Jackson. Moving a little bit further across, you've got Laramie Bowl, which is a lovely funnel-shaped sort of bowl. I hit it first or second run on my POW day at Jackson, and it was awesome. Recommend doing it when there's fresh snow. Definitely gets bumped out, as all of these runs sort of do, although the Alta chutes less so. But... Again, some great bowl skiing. I really enjoyed it. It's I think it's a single black. They might even call the run that goes through it that they groom a double blue. I don't even know if they do groom it. There's not a lot of grooming on this mountain, just FYI. But yeah, Laramie Bowl's great as well. Another bowl. You'll find me saying the word bowl quite a bit in this video because they have quite a few of them all over the mountain. So that's a fun zone as well. Want to talk about the Hobacks, which is beautiful fall line skiing off the Sublette chair. Can get to it from the Tram as well. And so if you want just top to bottom, I mean not literally top to bottom, but if your priority is vertical, you got to ski the Hobacks because it is so much vertical. It's an exhausting run. It's a black diamond. And it is just open fields. They often hold fresh snow. So if you can find your way in there, there are definitely pockets of great snow that I was able to find. What I will say is they face the sun. So if the sun is out, you're going to want to do it in the morning because they'll be crusty by the afternoon. Even before that, to be honest, they were starting to get a little crusty by the second time I did it. But I was amazed at all the leftovers I was able to find in the Hobacks. So, and just the amount of vertical you get is pretty sweet too. So I had to flag that because I thought that was pretty unique and just some awesome terrain. Wanted to touch on the Cirque as well. I did a couple laps on that. Smaller sort of bowl. You get to it from the 10 Sleep Traverse. And, it's like, I wouldn't say it's a mandatory gotta do it, but, again, if you're looking for some sort of open, steep-ish skiing, that holds decent snow, and you like to kind of point it in the fall line and sort of grip it and rip it, like these bowls, especially, Laramie, Cirque, this is where you want to go for that kind of stuff. So nice open smaller bowl off of the 10 Sleep Traverse. Again, this is all off the Sublette chair and we're just getting started, but Sublette is a great place to start if you've never been and if you want to ski some steeper stuff. And then lastly off the Sublette chair you've got the Headwall, which I've skied twice now. It is hike 2 terrain. It's a quick hike, about 15 minutes. and you get to it via that traverse. You go past the cirque and you'll see it. It's an open bowl. It's great on a powder day. It holds fresh snow because it's hike-to terrain. Powder hounds, you're going to want to get yourself up there. It's not the most demanding hike. I took my dad up there the first time we did it. He was in his 50s at the time. Now he's 60, so goes to show. But I loved it the first time. It was probably one of the best runs I've ever skied up until that point, being an East Coaster. I'd never really skied snow like that. So hold snow well. It brings you right to the lodge, which is kind of fun to do like before lunch. The hike's not that bad. The snow the second time I went was a bit heavy. It kind of been sitting there, but it's worth doing if you're into that kind of stuff. I haven't done some of the other stuff beyond it, but not the most demanding run in terms of steepness and technicality, but you know, a black diamond nonetheless, a run with good snow for sure. Moving on to Thunder. A couple notes here. I didn't ski this lift a ton. I sort of preferred Sublette a bit more about it. They've got a few steep bump runs under the lift for sure if you love that kind of stuff. A few wide blue runs as well. Also, you know, you can get the Sublette very easily from Thunder. You can get to Teton and Apres Vous very easily through traverses. I found it to be not, you know, a central point of the mountain, but you know, you can sort of connect to each zone, if you will, from Thunder. So that's sort of nice and good to know. And you get access to some lower mountain expert terrain like Sublette and Coulter Ridge. So again, I didn't spend too much time here because I think Sublette's kind of the place to be on that side of the mountain, but definitely some more nice expert terrain around the Thunder lift as well. Moving to the other side of the mountain, Teton and Apres Vous. I'm going to sort of group these into one. Glades galore is what I'll say about these two chairs. Teton, you've got Washakie Glade, which I skied. The Morin, I don't know. I'm not good at these pronunciations. Grizzly Glade, all great tree runs, impressive vertical. Those will burn you out for sure. This side of the mountain is more about the glades, I would say, while the other side is more open bowl-ish skiing. Other runs to highlight, Kemmerer, fun black run on the other side of the lift. It's long, it's got nice vertical, it's not crazy steep, but it's ungroomed, and it's fun to do in the afternoon, maybe after some fresh snow. You're a little more tired, you just kind of want to ski. Slightly less demanding terrain. I found a lot of kind of chopped up powder there that was fun to sort of smash through. And then you've got the Teton face, which is the far looker's right side of the mountain. Again, lots of vertical, long, open, glade-ish kind of run. We went at the end of our day on that powder day and still found fresh snow. So I kind of moved from left to right at Jackson. I start on the left side, a bit more popular, then kind of end the day towards the right, which is a little more untracked sometimes. So that's been my experience, at least during the week. But, you know, you really can't go wrong with any of these places on the mountain. I think it's got something for everyone in terms of, at least all the experts, in terms of bowls, glades, hike stuff, chutes, all of that. So you really can't go wrong, but that's the sort of rundown of each of the terrain zones, at least upper mountain terrain zones at Jackson Hole. Lastly, let's talk about the snow. Got some notes here. High quality snow, cold snow. The one negative I will say, and this is what I think sets maybe Utah, some other places there apart from Jackson, is several areas at Jackson will get sunbaked. And they will crust up by the afternoon. That's just a reality. That's really the only negative though. So, you know, if you can avoid those sun-baked areas, you'll be fine. But a lot of it does face the sun, and you got to hit those spots in the morning because it's just going to be too crusty by the afternoon. So that's really my only bad note on the snow. They get a lot of it. They got 445 inches last season. I think that's about average. Usually only second to the Cottonwoods in Utah, and sometimes they get more. they're always at the top end of snow totals in North America. So that's outstanding stuff. I'll throw some graphs I made up on screen here. As you can see, it's pretty impressive. It ticks all the boxes in terms of terrain matched with the snow quantity and quality. The only negative I would say is watch out for the sun-baked snow. And if you really are a powder guy, well, who isn't? But if you're really focused on when should I go, the snowiest week of the year is the first week in February on average. Again, it's so hard to plan ski vacations. When's the storm gonna come? Nobody knows. You gotta get lucky. So, but on average, first week in February, usually the snowiest. Some final thoughts here as we wrap up. I want to drive home the point that this is another mountain that is not for beginners. There are plenty of places to ski if you are learning how to ski, if you want to ski greens and blues all day. Jackson Hole is not that place. It is not the place for you if you want to do that. Yes, there are some greens and blues, especially towards the lower mountain. But, every mountain has some beginner terrain. So, what are we doing here? If that's your priority, go elsewhere. There are better places to ski if you're learning or an intermediate skier. If you're an adult and you want to ski blues, groomers, etc., don't go to Jackson. Go somewhere else, because there's just better options for you. You'll find more to do. If you do enjoy steep, ungroomed terrain, there's not many better places. Of course, it's the only game in town, so I'm sure it does get crowded during peak seasons and weekends. If you can play your cards right, like I did, you can have the mountain to yourself. You really can. We did not wait in any lines during the first week in January, something like that. I think it was the first week in January, post-holidays. I know not everyone can go around then because of work and what have you. I get it. I was in school, so I had off till Martin Luther King Day, so took advantage of that. But I get that not everyone has that opportunity. At this point, skiing is such a popular sport. Everywhere is crowded, right? So it's hard to compare. I mean, there are a few standouts. I won't name them yet. If I ski them, then I will do a review on them. But it's hard to find resorts that, are on the likes of the Icon and Epic Pass. There are some out there. There's some hidden gems, but even the hidden gems of 10 years ago are not really hidden anymore. So it's tough to dodge the crowds anywhere you go, I guess is the point I'm making. You just got to try to ski during the week. And skiing during the week at Jackson Hole is great. So that's the point I wanted to sort of get to there on the crowds. I do think it ticks all the boxes for serious skiers. I really do. It's got glades. It's got steeps, chutes, bowls, hiking terrain. I mean, open snow fields, just all over the mountain, all of this stuff. There's not a certain type of terrain that you can't find at Jackson Hole. So I just love it. I rate it really highly in terms of places I've skied in North America. It's certainly not for every skier, but yeah, it's just an incredible place. It's an incredible place. I want to go again. I've been twice. I want to go again. And maybe I'll put out a ranking on my top 10, or maybe I'll do a tier list on my favorite spots, and it would be up there on that for sure. So let me know if you have any thoughts, questions, if there's anything I left out, comments, concerns. Please let me know. Feedback is always appreciated. I'm sorry to those who had to correct my pronunciation of Alta. I didn't realize that's how you say it. But anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. We will be back with many more. I've skied, well, check out where I skied last year, and you can expect to find videos breaking down what to expect on those mountains in the coming weeks. Hope everyone has a great season. And again, let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. Thanks for watching.